I'm gonna run your test of your purges today. Kind of got them spread them out a little bit so I can actually grab them as I put them in. And I'm gonna start in two phases. The first is gonna be an L60, which is the shredder portion of it. And then I'm gonna put the material into what we call a C3060, which is actually the granulator portion of it. I don't have a combination unit in stock, but a combination unit is effectively a lump shredder on the top and then a C3060 underneath it. So the material flow from one to the other. What I'm going to do is, instead of flowing it straight down, I'm going to actually put them into these buckets there and then load them up into the buckets. So I'm going to turn off the video, get the machine going, and then I'll start loading it up and show you what the samples look like. I'll give you samples of what is coming out of the shredder, and then I'm going to run it through the granulator here, which is our test granulator. It's also a roll feed system, that's why it's kind of have that funny opening on it. We're going to run it through here, which will then accumulate right there, and then I'll send you a sample of that as well. All right, I'm going to start loading your material into the system here. I'm just going to pick them up and drop them in there. So this is basically shredding this material down. I'll keep loading her. Got this big piece. This has no problem processing your material. You can see it's flying out. I'll turn off the video and just continue to process the material, then I'll take it through the granulator portion. As a bit of a supplement, what I'm doing is I'm just cutting this piece in to show you. These are some larger pieces that you have. It's a pretty darn good size one, and so is this. This thing has a width of 24 inches on it, so it can take pieces up to 22 inches wide, and basically as long as you want, basically 2 feet, 3 feet, so it can get in there. I'm gonna take this, lift them up. The camera might be awkward for a little bit because they're kind of heavy pieces, but I'm gonna drop them in just to show you that it'll have no problem processing this size of material. But it's gonna get rattly because I can't lift so good. I'm gonna do this piece now, which is pretty compact and heavy. And I'm in this bad boy right here. You'll see how quickly it really processes all this material. It does about 500 pounds an hour, this type of machine. Again, this
just a supplement to show you how big a piece is this can handle, and it's not really even amping the machine out at all. So it handles these heavy pieces without an issue.
For the second part of the test, I'm going to run it through a C3060, which is actually the bottom piece or bottom granulator in the combination unit. This is what the material looks like after going through the lump shredder. So it breaks it down into very manageable pieces. And then in a combination unit, the material would just flow from that unit into this unit. But because we're just doing the two and putting them together this way, I'm gonna manually dump these in there. So it might be a little shaky on the camera when I'm doing it, and then the material is gonna come over here and reside in that bin for your sample. So I'll turn on the blower. Then the granulator. Well, I'm gonna lift the material up so you might not see me for a bit, but I jumped in the first batch. It's already coming out over here. This is a 6mm screen, so it's really chopping it up really well. Yours would have a little dust cover on it, which would stop any problems. I'm going to turn off the video. I load all this thing through and I'll run it all into there, and then I'll cut the videos together and send you a bag of the sample. Okay, we completed that test. That bin, this is what it turned into. It's all ground material. You can see the size of it. And really good particle size, and this was run with a 6mm screen. So I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a test again, but I'm just gonna put it in an 8mm screen and just see how it comes out. I'll send you a sample of both, because this is fairly well cut stuff. When your product, the material you have, gets hit by the knives and stuff, it shatters a lot, and that's why you get this throughput through your shredder as well, because it kind of breaks itself apart. So I'm gonna try a 10mm screen, and that'll cut down on, see the amount of dust not dust, but small particles you're having there. Maybe you get a bigger particle size. But then I'll bag up both sets and send it off to you so you can determine which is best for you.